Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are focusing on a certification that, it sits right at this intersection of traditional IT and modern customer experience. We're looking at the Cisco 300-830 exam. That's the implementation and design of Cisco WebEx Contact Center.
It's a fascinating exam, really, because it represents such a massive shift in the industry.
How so?
Well, 10 years ago, a contact center exam was all about, wiring, servers, heavy on-premise hardware. This exam, it's all about cloud logic, AI, and workflow design.
And looking at the materials, this is not a test you can pass just by memorizing definitions. You really have to understand the architecture.
That's the design part of the title right there. It tests if you understand why you're clicking a button, not just, where the button is.
So here's our mission for this deep dive. We are not going to just lecture through the syllabus. Instead, we've picked out 10 high-probability practice questions.
And we're going to treat them like case studies, basically reverse engineer the logic of the exam.
Exactly. We'll break it down just like the exam does. We'll start with the heavy hitters: telephony and call routing and tenant configuration. Those two alone are, 60% of your score?
60%. Then we'll hit digital channels, and then the big one, the one that's growing, is advanced features and AI.
Which is a solid 25% of the test.
It's huge.
Yeah.
A quarter of your grade depends on understanding how AI plugs into the human element.
Okay, let's get right into it. Segment 1, the foundation. Telephony and call flow. If we can't get the call into the system, nothing else really matters.
Correct. This is the plumbing.
All right, question 1. This deals with the modern way we connect to the outside world. The scenario is, you need to design a solution that provides a direct cloud-to-cloud connection between the WebEx platform and a certified service provider.
Cloud-to-cloud, that phrase is the critical constraint here.
And the options are A, local gateway integration, B, cloud-connected PSTN, C, a standard analog line, or D, an on-premises PBX connection.
So if you've been in this industry a while, your first instinct might be to look for a gateway.
Right, the old Cisco cube in the rack.
For years, that was the gold standard. You had a router on-site, physically terminating the connection. But the question is very specific.
A direct cloud connection.
Right, so options A, C, and D are out immediately because they all require some kind of physical gear at the customer site. The correct answer is option B, cloud-connected PSTN.
Let's drill into why that's the preferred way now. It's not just about getting rid of a box, is it?
No, it's about the control plane. With cloud-connected PSTN, or CCP, you're essentially buying termination directly from a provider that's already paired with WebEx in the cloud. It decouples the telephony from the physical office.
Meaning, if your headquarters has a power outage, your phone numbers don't go down because they don't live in that building anymore.
Exactly. It makes disaster recovery and just day-to-day provisioning so much simpler. You can assign a number to a user in London or Tokyo from a single web page. No more logging into a local router.
Okay, so the call has reached the cloud. Now it needs to land somewhere. Question 2 asks, in WebEx Contact Center, what defines the initial landing point for an incoming customer interaction before it gets processed by a flow?
This is a big one. Terminology really trips people up here. In older systems, we just call everything a queue or a trigger.
And the options reflect that. We have A, agent team, B, contact queue, C, entry point, and D, desktop layout.
Okay, so we can rule out agent team and desktop layout pretty easily. Those are for the human workers. The confusion is always between queue and entry point.
I'm guessing a lot of people pick contact queue because, that's where the call eventually ends up waiting.
They do. And it's a logical guess, but it's wrong. The answer is option C. The entry point, think of it like a hospital.
Okay.
The entry point is the front desk where you check in. The queue is the waiting room you sit in after they've decided which doctor you need to see.
Ah, that's a good way to put it. So the entry point is the tag. It's the arrival tag.
It is. Technically, the entry point maps the incoming number, the DNIS, to a specific workflow. You cannot have a call enter a flow without first passing through an entry point. It's the boundary.
Got it. Okay, speaking of logic, question 3. This looks at how we navigate the caller. The scenario is about a specific node in the flow builder that's used to present options and route based on keypad input.
The classic, press 1 for sales, press 2 for support.
Yep. The options are A, transfer node, B, recording node, C, feedback node, or D, menu node.
This is a pretty straightforward one, a toolset question. The answer here is option D, menu node.
Well, why does the exam separate this out? Why isn't it just part of a play message node?
It's the input requirement. A plain message node is passive, it just plays audio. A menu node is active. It actually engages the DTMF processor.
DTMF being the keypad tones.
Right. The menu node opens a listening port for those tones. It also has to handle all the error logic, like what happens if the user presses 9 and that's not an option, or they don't press anything. All that timeout and error logic is built right into the menu node.
So it's the traffic cop. It demands a decision.
Precisely.
All right, let's move on. Segment 2. We have the architecture set up, calls are coming in, now we need to manage it all. This is tenant configuration and reporting, which is a massive 30% of the exam.
And let's be honest, probably 90% of a manager's actual job.
Fair point. Question 4 is about the long game, the scenario. Which type of report should a supervisor use to analyze performance trends and service level metrics over the past month?
The key words there are trends and past month.
Options are A, real-time dashboard, B, active agent monitor, C, current queue status, D, historical report.
The answer has to be option D, historical report.
Okay, that seems intuitive, but let me push on that. Most dashboards show some kind of trend line, don't they?
They might, but maybe for the last hour or since the start of the shift. The data architecture underneath is totally different. A real-time dashboard streams data from memory. It's ephemeral. It's telling you the current state. Busy, ready, waiting.
Whereas historical reports are actually querying a database.
Exactly. Historical reports pull from committed storage. If you need to calculate an SLA like, did we answer 80% of calls in 20 seconds? You need that aggregated, finalized data. You use historical reports for compliance, for strategy.
So if historical is for strategy, then question 5 must be about tactics, this scenario. Which tool provides a visual representation of KPIs that updates instantly as data changes?
Updates instantly. That's the key.
Options: A, real-time dashboard, B, static PDF report, C, email notification, or D, manual spreadsheet.
It's clearly option A, real-time dashboard.
So what's the business case here? If historical reports tell me if I hit my goals, why do I need to stare at a live screen?
It's situational awareness. Historical data is, it's like an autopsy. Real-time is the vital signs monitor.
I like that.
If you see your queue depth suddenly jump from 2 to 20 in 5 minutes, a historical report won't show you that until tomorrow. By then, your customers are gone.
So the dashboard is for immediate intervention.
Right. It lets a supervisor move agents around, change skills, open up overflow routes all on the fly. For the exam, you have to know the difference between analyzing the past and managing the present.
Okay, clear distinction. Let's shift gears. Segment 3, digital channels. It's 15% of the test, but this is where things get complicated.
For sure. We're leaving the world of standard telephony protocols and entering the world of APIs.
Question 6 is a perfect example. Scenario: which digital channel should be configured to handle customer inquiries from platforms like Facebook or X?
A simple scenario, but the implementation is very specific.
Options are A, email channel, B, social channel, C, SMS, or D, voice channel.
The answer is option B, social channel.
Now, I've heard people ask, why? Why isn't it just text? Why isn't it treated like an SMS? Why does WebEx make social a whole separate thing?
It all comes down to the API payload. An SMS is just text, right? Maybe 160 characters point to point. A social interaction carries so much more metadata.
Like what, for instance?
Well, is it public or private? If someone tweets at you, that's a public interaction. If they send a DM, it's private. The social channel config in WebEx has logic to handle those distinctions. It also has to maintain a persisting connection to the social platform's API, which is totally different than how SMS works.
So choosing social channel basically loads the right driver to handle all those platform-specific rules.
That's a great way to put it. You can't just treat a Facebook message like an email. The whole expectation is different.
Okay, speaking of things not working, question 7 is a troubleshooting one.
My favorite. These test if you actually understand the data path.
The scenario: SMS messages are not being received by the contact center. What's a common first troubleshooting step?
Okay, so you trace the path in your head. Where could it be breaking?
Options are A, verifying physical hardware, B, restarting the local voice gateway, C, checking the digital channel connector status, or D, reconfiguring the voice routing flow.
A lot of legacy engineers, their muscle memory is restart the gateway, the old turn it off and on again.
Sure.
But the answer is option C, checking the digital channel connector status.
And why are the others wrong?
Well, A and B are about hardware and voice gateways. SMS doesn't touch your local voice gateway. It's a cloud-to-cloud text message.
It completely bypasses your local site.
Right. And D, reconfiguring the flow, that's just dangerous. If the message isn't even arriving, changing your logic downstream won't help. The problem is upstream.
So tell us about this connector. What is that?
WebEx doesn't own the cell towers, right? It uses an aggregator service to bridge the cellular network to the internet. The connector is that software bridge. If its status is red or disconnected, the handshake is broken, you have to fix the bridge before you worry about where the message is going.
Isolate the failure domain. That's the real lesson there.
Always.
We're in the home stretch now. Segment 4, advanced features and AI. A massive 25%.
Wow.
This is where the tech starts to feel less like routing and more like thinking.
This is the differentiator. If you want to pass this exam today, you absolutely cannot ignore the AI stack.
So question 8 is about making sense of unstructured data, the scenario. Which AI-driven tool is used to identify common themes and recurring issues across multiple customer conversations?
The key here is multiple conversations. We're looking at the big picture.
Options: A, agent assistant; B, voice recognition; C, call recording; D, topic analytics.
The answer is option D, topic analytics.
So how is this different from just recording calls? We've had call recording for decades.
Recording just captures the audio. Transcription turns it into text. But topic analytics, it turns that text into actual insight. It uses natural language processing to cluster keywords and concepts.
So it's pattern recognition.
Exactly. A human supervisor might listen to 5 calls and think the problem is rude agents. Topic analytics scans 5,000 calls and realizes 60% of them contain the phrase payment error code 50. It finds the systemic root cause that humans are just too zoomed in to see.
It changes the question from how long was the call to what was the call about.
That's it, exactly. It's semantic intelligence.
Okay, now, let's jump to question 10. We'll come back to 9 to keep the tech together. This is about the active side of AI. What is the primary function of the WebEx AI agent?
AI agent is the brand name, but for the exam, think virtual agent.
Options are A, managing data centers; B, resolving customer issues using natural language; C, printing invoices; or D, routing office traffic.
Yeah, this one should be straightforward. It's option B, resolving customer issues using natural language.
Is this just a fancy name for an IVR, though? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no.
No, and that is a critical distinction for the exam. An IVR is a directed dialogue. It forces you down a specific tree. An AI agent uses intent detection.
Explain that.
You can say, I need to change my flight, or I want to fly somewhere else, or get me on a different plane. The AI agent understands that all 3 of those phrases map to the same intent: reschedule flight. It then triggers the back-end work to actually do it. It's transactional, not just navigational.
So it's doing the job of a Tier 1 human agent.
Right. It frees up the humans for the complex, empathy-heavy problems.
Which brings us perfectly to our last question, number 9. This one, I have to say, it really stood out. It feels surprisingly human for a technical certification.
Oh, it's my favorite feature in the whole stack.
The scenario. Which feature focuses on monitoring and improving the mental health and productivity of contact center staff?
Mental health. You just don't normally see that on a Cisco exam.
The options are A, agent wellness; B, real-time reporting; C, desktop profiling; D, quality management.
The answer is option A, agent wellness.
So how does a piece of software measure wellness? Is it listening to the agent's tone of voice?
It can, but it's mostly about workload telemetry. It looks for what we call stress markers.
Like what? Give me an example.
So imagine an agent has just had 3 really tough calls in a row. They were all flagged with negative sentiment, lots of shouting, maybe they were really long. The agent wellness algorithms see that pattern of high stress. It might automatically suggest a Thrive reset.
A Thrive reset.
Yeah, it literally pops up a prompt on their screen suggesting a 60-second breathing exercise, or to just step away for a minute.
So it creates a dynamic on-the-fly break.
Yes, or it might even adjust the routing to put them at the back of the queue for 10 minutes to let them cool down.
Yeah.
It treats the agent's mental state as a resource that needs to be protected, just like network bandwidth.
That is a profound shift. We used to optimize for occupancy. Just keep the agent busy 99% of the time. Now we're optimizing for longevity.
Because the data proves that burned-out agents quit. And replacing and training a good agent costs a fortune. So wellness is now a technical efficiency metric.
And I want to leave you with one final thought on that last point we discussed, agent wellness.
It's the one that sticks with me too.
We spend so much time on these deep dives talking about efficiency, automation, replacing manual tasks. But here we have a flagship technical certification that is explicitly testing engineers on their ability to configure empathy.
It suggests that as the AI gets better at the hard skills, the math, the value of the human worker shifts completely to the soft skills. Emotional resilience.
Exactly. The future of work might not be about competing with the machine, but about building systems that recognize when the human in the loop just needs a break. Are we designing systems to replace us or to sustain us?
That's the real design question, isn't it?
Just something to think about while you're memorizing those configuration steps. Good luck with the exam prep.
You've got this.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.